are Mr. Ray Chan, CEO of MemeStrategy and co-founder of 9gag. Mr. Raymond Mak, co-founder and CEO of Farmacy. Mr. William Shum, founder and CEO of Memorigin. Mr. Henson Tsai, founder and CEO of SleekFlow. Let us have a group photo first. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Mr. Suen, the stage is now yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dean. Yeah, I'm very happy to work with Hong Kong U on this panel. I'm Marcus from EDigest. Yeah, Fred just said that we need more entrepreneurs, and then I bring 4 of them on stage. Yeah, maybe let's start with, we have heard a lot of numbers from the morning to now, and now let's listen to more founder story. And before that, let's show some photos. I asked 4 of them to bring us one photo that can be unforgettable moment during their business life. Yeah. So is Ray photo? Yeah, Ray. Can you talk about what this photo means?
This is our first office, which is my parents' home in Tuen Mun. And basically, all of us, we just sit there and then we work. And then my parents, basically, they have to go out to the community center so that they don't disturb our work. Yeah. So, and right now, after having a few offices, and then right now our company is becoming back to like 100% remote work again. So somehow I would say that it's like life is a circle of life. Yeah.
You are the origin of work from home.
I wouldn't say origin, right? But I think in Hong Kong, people know that we work from home. Yeah.
Okay. And I suspect you are playing video games with your brother, right?
Playing or working, I think it's more or less the same.
Okay. And next one will be Raymond. Yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly, this is also the first office that we have. It's actually a lab. In a shopping mall, actually. Philip is here today. He's actually our first landlord. Back then, it's actually basically our garage. Our first founding team back then. Those plants are actually not grown by us, if I remember correctly. It's actually brought from somewhere, and then we actually do the R&D there. You can see basically we start with a pure R&D and a marketing and a BD team together. And by the way, the founding team here all are Hong Kong U Business School graduates.
Wow. Yeah. Go Hong Kong U.
From different places though, the mainland, Taiwan, Korea, and also, the Americas as well, the US. Okay. So I think right now, this is the first model that we have. And then today we grow into a farming service company where we manage roughly about 200 times of the size of this farm, and then we really have our own technology finally. Okay.
Okay. So what Raymond is doing is to bring farming more accessible and you can farm anywhere. This is his business. Am I right to describe it? Yeah. And I forgot to introduce what Ray is doing. Ray is having a very big social platform, 9gag, and I think all of you, especially Gen Z, will use his platform for sharing memes. And also he has a listed companies called MemeStrategy now, which focus on Web3 product and also innovation. Yeah. And next one, yeah.
Yeah, this one is a very
William?
interesting photo because I first introduce myself. My name is William, and I'm the founder of a very traditional watch brand. Its name is Memorigin, which is the combination of memory and original. And we focus on craftsmanship, and we produce only the Tourbillon watch, which is the most complicated mechanical watch in the world. And because of I really spent more than 15 years try to build up my brand, so I try to jump out of my comfort zone. So I try to learn and try to get involved in different communities and in different areas. So I have more opportunities to explore in different fields of areas. I'm not an athlete, but somehow I got a chance to be a torchbearer in this Hangzhou Asian Games. So it's one of the most unforgettable moment for me. Yeah, somehow because of I always use my own identity to promote my brand. So somehow me and the brand always link together, and I try to be energetic so my brand can be more energetic. Yeah.
Thank you, William. And then Henson. Oh, this is a good photo.
Of course, this is a good photo because this is the first interview that we took with EDigest back then. I was very young. It was when I was 25 when I first started my company. So we were actually, I would say, kind of the first batch of AI companies started a couple of years ago. I mean, even before GPT-4 being popularized as a chat interface or the app. Yeah, this is actually the first fundraising round that we have done. That time was with Alibaba, and then we were lucky enough to work with EDigest. And that time we only have around a team of 5 people back then. This is actually in Cyberport, so an incubation program, software house in Hong Kong as well. So long time ago, but yeah, since then we grew a lot.
Now, how many people in your company?
Currently, we have around 200 people spreading around 7 countries. So all started in a small office in Cyberport.
Why I tell all of you to bring a photo, because my second question is, when you compare with the beginning of your business story, do you think your style has changes in running the business? Still very warrior style, or become a more moderate style that let people to take care of it, or something different? Maybe Ray can.
Yeah, I think we all grow up, right? So I think the style must have been changing. Yeah. In the beginning, basically, I have 4 other co-founders. Yeah, but I'm the one who go out to talk because I'm not a programmer. I'm not a designer. That's why I can only talk. Meanwhile, most of our co-founders, they do the real work. And at the beginning, basically, we do all the things, right? That's why we have to be very hands-on. But when you grow the team, then you have to learn how to delegate. I think that's the hard part. Yeah. So so I think the style has been changing. And also in the beginning, it's more like very result driven. Right now, I have kids, I have a wife. Yeah. So I think it's getting more, I would say, mature, learning more to be an adult. Yeah. I think that's something that I believe that we, or at least I, have been changing. Yeah.
Yep. William?
Yeah, I think the style haven't changed. I think as a co-founder of the company, we have to stay as committed as before, passionate as before. But now I think the focus, where your commitment put and also your passionate about have to be changing over time. Especially when we are working in a very niche industry in Hong Kong, where agriculture actually represents just 0.1% of our GDP, then there's a lot of things that we have to search. So as what Ray said, we have to be very hands-on at the very beginning, working not only with the co-founders, but also with the people, how to grow plants, how to make all the different kind of botanical science, engineering back in place. Really focusing on how to apply your technologies to find a business model that we can reach the financial security that can get the innovators going on the job. I think within a very short time, we have to put our commitment and also the passion in that. But then when we grow over time, it's more about the culture of the team. It's all about the vision, that how you can put your business, your product to express the character of your team. And then and then most recently, we start to find that actually it's not enough, in this over-changing world. We have to start building the ecosystem. It's not only about the products. It's not only about the industry. So I have to lead the team with the same level of passion and commitments, on growing as an ecosystem to bring your clients and partners in, to stick with them, and then to let them know that actually we can grow together, even in agriculture, because we are not only selling vegetables. We're actually using our technology to empower them to grow the sustainable food for them to save costs, for a very healthy food intake. So that is something that we use our passion and commitment to change over time.
Okay, William.
Yeah, actually, these 15 years, definitely we keep changing, and of course, the passion we are still the same. Definitely very passionate about the brand, but actually, the whole retail industry already transformed a lot compared to 15 years ago when I start my brand to the present date. 15 years ago, I remember that I start my own brand by preparing the samples, and then the goal for me is very clear. I will hire one sales, the one staff, the sales, and then we will go to different shops, the wash shops. At that time in Hong Kong, actually in one street, there are different types of wash shops, jewelry shops, all different types of shops. And then we will knock on the door and we will do the cold call, the pitching. But of course, the result is really tough because no one knows about my brand. And it's a Hong Kong brand. Whenever people think of mechanical watch brand, definitely it's all Swiss brand, the top Europe historic brand. So I got rejected for the majority of the shops, but I learned a lot about how to build up a good watch business system, and I built up a good relationship with the watch shops managers, and up till now I can tell that for the offline, the retail shop sales is not the primary goal for doing the sales business in the watch industry. It's more like custom made, it's everything online, and it's more like we have to, because especially mechanical watch is more like a storytelling. We need to have the admiration, the amount of about the craftsmanship of our watches, to amount the story behind each of our masterpiece. So that's why we do a lot of the different IP, different types of crossover. At the same time, we try the best to do the custom made to ensure that we can meet the demand of the different desires of my customers. So actually the whole picture changed. So, and that's why we focus a lot in building up the system. Actually, the system is very important, and that's why, because for doing a brand, for a retail brand, it starts from the supply chain, and also for the marketing and sales, and also to the after-sales service, and also about the CSR, all these different very important concepts. So how we can really do it at a very perfect way to ensure the system is improving time to time is very important, and it's up to me and the team, and also my different distributors. We have around 15 countries, more than different hundreds points of sales. How to ensure them to have the same motivation and have the same goal to keep pushing my brand to have a new breakthrough in this very fast changing environment. Yeah.
Thank you. And Henson?
Of course, I think we are forced to change and adapt over the past few years, especially we are in a very fierce competition of this AI era. And our company, in fact, focuses a lot on that AI space as well. In fact, if I tell you, I know what will happen in the past 4 years, and I have a plan about AI, it would be all bullshit. Like I don't even know what will happen, what will be kind of evolving in the next couple of years, right? So when we started, we built SleekFlow with the goals of actually handling all the messaging platforms and automate it. We never know that AI will be that intelligent that it will be able to handle all these kind of workflows, refunds, selling our products, getting customers to pay, handling basically everything with integrations like start today, right? Even a year ago compared to now, a lot of things have changed, and we just have to adapt very fast towards that as well. So I think I enjoy a lot about this kind of fast-paced environment, but at the same time, I think it's important for actually every entrepreneur to kind of know their DNA, like what kind of person they are, how do they want to run the company, how do they want to grow the company. It's important. So I would say that I think every entrepreneur has go through a cycle where they want to listen to other advice and go to different directions. But at the end, they will trust their instinct and then go back to who they are at the start. And I think that's the cycle.
I think from all four of you, starting from yourself and then turning it into a system is a process everyone need to go through when you're founding business. In my observation and also in today's different session, I heard three elements that may be critical to future business building. One is AI, one is IP, and the third one is go global. And we can discuss through this direction. And before the panel, I talked with Ray. We said that he has a very interesting point that actually now building a product is very easy with AI. Everyone can do a product with vibe coding, something like that. But how can it become a business? Is it equal to building a business? I think we can talk about this. Maybe Ray and also Henson can talk about how AI can enable people to start their business nowadays, because your business is right on social and also affected by AI a lot. Yeah. Why do you bet on social media, bet on the digital platform? How do you see the futures with AI coming?
Yeah, sure. But I want to add on one thing. By the way, Marcus sent us a very long list of questions. Yeah, and then one of the questions I really like is, what's one thing that I want to unlearn? Yeah. It's very hard to unlearn. It's actually STFU. For the younger people here, do you know what STFU is? Yeah. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. I think as a leader, I think it's really, really hard to learn how to speak less, or at least like speak at the end. Right? Because I think in the beginning you want to take the lead, right? How can you become more like a servant leader in a way that let the teammate talk first, maybe they have better ideas, right? If their ideas is exactly the same as you, then let them take the credit so that they feel like, okay, you actually like their ideas, right? Then in that case, they feel like they get empowered. I think that's one thing that I want to share over the years that has hopefully that has been changing. And then back to your questions, I mean, I'm not like William or like Henson or Raymond, where they actually have a vision and then they try to build out something. For us, the phrase I always use is, I didn't choose the meme life, right? The meme life chose me. Yeah, because we didn't think that sharing funny pictures can be a business. NiGet, which we started like 18 years ago, it's just like a random idea that it's really difficult for us to share funny pictures at the time when people still use like MSN Messenger, AOL Messenger, right? You have to wait for the file to upload without broadband, right? And that's why we thought, maybe we could create a website where you can share all these funny pictures. Yeah, that's why we created NiGet. Yeah, and that's why I was not a visionary. I'm not a visionary as well. But the thing is, turns out, people love funny stuff, right? And turns out people love to get socialized and connected with other people. Yeah, that's why we continue to build on that. Yeah, but back to your questions. I think with AI, it's so easy to create content. I wouldn't say at zero cost, right? Because you still need a computer, right? You need to buy all these like program and stuff, right? ChatGPT is not free, yeah, at least like for the good one, yeah. But I believe that right now, I think people always talk about how to get attention in this world. I actually think that getting attention is very easy. How to build trust, I think that is the hard part. I believe that you can use AI to build a lot of content, but whether people recognize that content is made by you, I think that is challenging. For example, like Stephen Chow or all these like famous directors or actors, right? When you mention their name, you know who he is, right? You know what kind of movies that they represent. I think that's the brand, right? That's the trust. I think in this world of AI, especially on the content side, how can you create a brand for your content, build trust, right, for your content? I think that is the real challenge. Yeah.
Henson, do you agree?
Yeah, of course. I mean, first of all, I agree with what Ray said at the start as well. Like, listen more to different opinions and feedback. Let them have ownership. Basically, it's how we grow the team as well. And then kind of getting back to Marcus' question about how we see AI will help us and how we see social media will be affected as well, right? Going back around 4 or 5 years ago, as a background, I mean, SleekFlow is actually a platform for conversational and social commerce. So helping companies to actually generate more revenue with conversations and social media as well, right? Why we started this business a couple of years ago, even before all the AI waves, it's because I have a vision that in the future, a lot of people won't be downloading separate mobile apps. A lot of the interfaces will be changed from a graphical interface, which we used to so-called a conversational or chat-based interface, which is called GUI to CUI. People can't be bothered to download hundreds of apps. They just want one of their apps to do everything. Because of this, I think a lot of businesses will need a central hub to integrate with all the conversations and messaging, together with so-called, now people call it a knowledge graph, meaning that, that conversations have knowledge across different platforms and apps that they can provide more real-time information. So that's the only brief idea that I have in the past. And I also know that most people spend most of their time on Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, WeChat, right? Like this is our top 4 or 5 apps that everyone uses, right? No one can be bothered to download an app and suddenly become the top app, right? So if people are discovering products on these channels, how can we empower a company to do better to attract attention in these channels and actually having conversion and payment in these channels? So Jeff Bezos once said, you can never predict the futures, so bet on something that you believe won't change in the next 5 to 10 years, and that was something that we bet on. And it turns out come up pretty true, despite a bit ambiguous, but it looks like people are going into a chat interface right now for a lot of different things. And yeah, I guess we made the right bet here.
People call it like agentic commerce these days, right? Yeah, using agent to buy stuff. Yeah, so many different names, same stuff, yeah.
So for William and Raymond, I have another question about, because you may not be a very AI-driven platform, but you are bringing something that very niche in, that is made in Hong Kong, the farming technique, and also some the mechanic machine washers. Yeah, those are very niche product, but also a lot of craftsmanship representing Hong Kong, and then you bring them global. What do you see? How overseas markets see the name of Hong Kong when you bring this kind of product to us outside? How others see, and how do you build up confidence for other markets to trust you?
Yeah, for my brand, because I really built up my brand as a Hong Kong brand. So for me, Hong Kong is the merge of East and West. So I was born with a very traditional Chinese family background. So I always can have the opportunity to enjoy different craftsmanship of different beautiful wood carving antiques, because my father has been a wood carving antiques collector for almost 40 years. So when I was born, I already enjoyed this kind of craftsmanship, but also because of my education, and I have a chance to study overseas, so I can really learn more about the global market and some of the beauty of the Western art and culture. So when I come back to Hong Kong, I think for Hong Kong, actually we can really do it, for example, for those Eastern design. I have a lot of very good design concept due to my family background. But at the same time, I try the best to get different license in different international movies for different IP. For example, we cooperate with Warner Brothers, Transformer, all this of the very superhero, Avengers, all this. Because for me, doing a mechanical watch is, as I shared before in the previous questions, is more like storytelling. And I need to keep broaden my customer bases, because it's not a necessity goods, it's more like an art pieces. So how I can convince my customer to keep buying my watches, and also I can really broaden the age group of the customers from maybe from the very beginning. My customers who buy my watches, who will be some of the watch collectors, they want to buy some good tourbillon, very complicated mechanical watch, but they think that, the price is a little bit too expensive. Why not try this Hong Kong brand? But step by step, we would like to see, for the fans of some of the different international IP or some of the different artists or designers, they would like to try this art piece because it's designed by them. So step by step, I think Hong Kong can create this kind of the power of mouth because in these 15 years, I do different types of crossover in different industries. And I think the exhibition is also very wonderful because by the TDC, actually TDC, the exhibition, my brand keeps joining since 15 years ago, every year, non-stop, even during the COVID, we joined the online section because it's really like the window to the world for Hong Kong brand to really participate in different exhibitions. So I think for Hong Kong, the flexibility and also the power of mouth and the merger of East of West actually is quite prestigious in the world, that when I go to different countries, when they think of a Hong Kong-made watch brand, they will really identify them as a very unique timepiece with a very unique design. I think it's also the branding of Hong Kong, yeah.
Raymond?
Well, at the very beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, I have the same questions, like if we go overseas, do we enjoy the same brand and also the advantage in the foreign market? And all these years, my experience told me that we Hong Kong have a very fantastic brand, probably being recognized differently across regions. Like for example, our experience in Southeast Asia, we enjoy the benefits. It's different from the benefits that we enjoyed when we compete or actually have our products in Europe and the other Western markets. For those who may not understand more about our technologies and products, we say we are not city farmers, because there's a lot of medias and people say, Raymond, you are a modern city farmers, okay? But actually, I don't know how to grow vegetables, okay? I make technologies and machines to help people to grow whatever they want and then harvest whenever they need. So we really focus on botanical science, the engineering part that make different size of machines that can provide the ideal growing environment for the plants, different types of plants, so that people can have a very, very trusted technologies to grow at their place, be it in supermarkets, restaurants, hotels, offices and schools. Okay, so when we have a chance to go overseas, we found that especially in Asian markets, be it in Southeast Asia or the Middle East, we really have a good trust from our clients in our technology excellence. Partially because thanks to the Hong Kong government, they nominate us to represent Hong Kong to participate in some regional competition. We were actually very honored to win the APAC Biocircular Green Award, where actually can help the clients to understand that we have the technological excellence and also the application excellence, in the field. Okay, but then when we work with, for example, our pilots with CP Group and also Thailand Central Food Retail Group back then, I remember the CEO told us, the technological excellence and the product excellence is the basic that we consider. After all, it's about the trust that we build, just like what other friends said here. The professional services and the quality that you represent, and of course sometimes we like you because Hong Kong is actually within reachable time zone. Yeah, we don't need to call you in the midnight asking for some service and support. I think all these make Hong Kong brand a trusted brand when we go to overseas to work with people. And then when we have a chance to interact with other counterparts in Europe and the US, I think that it's not exactly about the engineering excellence and all that, because they're fantastic. But then our innovation on the business model, because they are basically doing farming at all costs, okay, building huge plants, and then with a very little bit of the utilization, but really a piece of the machines. But we remember when we present our case in International Vertical Farming Conference in Amsterdam last October, when we share our model, and then we are the only one, I didn't know, we dare to talk about our gross profit margin, across all the participants. because we have a robust business model that we can share to make sense of the whole market. So I think in this sense, then actually we win the trust from other counterparts in Europe and the US as well. So I think it really depends on how we apply it and how we express it in different international market.
So I think Hong Kong as a brand can help startup to go further, but at the end it's about your own business model when I hear about it. And Ray can also comment about it because your business is very interesting that you start globally in the very beginning. How do you think is how to build global?
I think I have different views from other speakers. I actually believe that it depends on the product nature. Right, for social media, for content, actually people don't care where your content is from. And a lot of the products, right, people mainly look at the brand, right? They actually don't know where they were made. For example, when you talk about like Nokia, right? People would assume that is a US company. It's from Finland, right? Like Supercell, right? Which makes the very popular game called Clash of Clans. Right? People think that it's a US company. It's a Finland company as well. Angry Bird, Finland company. I think if you make good stuff, right, people actually don't care about where you are from, but care about where your brand is, right? Whether I buy your brand. I think that part is a bit different from other business where you have to do B2B. Yeah, because for consumer, I think they're very simple. They see it, they like it, they buy it. Yeah, and for global, I believe that also depends on the product itself. For example, like what we do, right now we do like trading cards, we do memes, we do content. I think they are quite international. Yeah, I think for us, right, people, one insight that we know, we've learned after running NiGet for a long time, it's before we actually go to work, right, I think most of the students, they live a very similar life, right? How to get a girlfriend, how to get rid of your girlfriend, right? And then exam sucks, right? And then teacher sucks, parents sucks. I think all these I would say similarities, I think they connected them. Yeah. And that's why when we share similar content, I think everyone can find someone who can resonate with them. That's why they feel like, oh, I meet some friends on NiGet, and I'm from Hong Kong, and that guy's from Brazil, right? I think that's why the platform went viral in the beginning. Yeah, but I believe that this is like pretty unique to us just because we are very content heavy. Meanwhile, for other platforms, for other products, right, maybe the path is a bit different. Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of how to let people feel good, and then I think that's one of the characters of IP. And also, William also said he works with a lot of IP. Ray is what is trading card is Pokemon card mostly he is doing, and I think when I say Pokemon card, young people will have more pictures on this. Why do you see IP is become more and more important in building products, and also has a lot of people talking about it, like the Labubu, PopMart cases, Case Defy, something like that. It's all about IP.
I think IP has been popular, right, ever since like TV, right? Because I mean, when I ask you, hey, think about your childhood, right? What are the things that you think about other than your classmate or school? Right? You think about like Hello Kitty, Kirby, all these toys that you play with, right? I think in the past, it would be quite hard, right, for you to buy a lot of like toys, right? Right now, when you go to Toys R Us, when you go to all these toy shop, spend $100, Hong Kong dollars, not US dollars, right? You can buy back the memory. You can buy the happiness. Right? I think right now it makes a lot of sense for so-called like young adults or kiddos, right, to do that. We were having a meeting with the CEO of like Toys R Us Hong Kong. They mentioned that they are changing their store as well. Right? They are trying to move a lot of the kiddos products in the front, and then move all these like kids product at the back. I think it's the same concept because I mean we grow up with TV, we grow up with cartoon. Right? That's why right now when we have money to buy, right, I have a very good excuse to go to toy shop, right? Because I'm buying stuff for my son, even though I buy the stuff and then I play with most of the stuff, right? For example, I bought him some Legos, so basically I built it instead of him building it because he's only 3 years old, right? So I think all this like habit that we have been learning and growing for the past like 2-3 decades, I think it helps people to understand that, hey, I'm willing to spend like thousands of dollars to get a Labubu, right? To get like any things that you like, for example, like Pokemon, right? So I think it's not like, suddenly, because of Pop Mart and then it becomes very big. I think it has been building along the way. And then with all these like comics company, movies companies, Disney, like Sanrio, like Nintendo, I think they all help build the whole thing. So in the past, we talk a lot about like games, right? Right now, after COVID, right, people want more physical touch, right? And that's why they buy toys, they buy trading cards. I feel like it's all very natural human being. And to be honest, right, especially in developed cities and developed countries, hey, what can you buy, right? It takes a lot of money to buy a car. It takes a lot of money to buy a house, a flat. Right, you spend $100, right, and then you buy a car, you buy a toy, you buy the happiness. Hey, this seems like a pretty good deal. That's why I buy it. And if a lot of people are buying that, that becomes a huge market. And when it becomes a huge market, financial people talk about it. Suddenly, news people talk about it. It becomes, suddenly it pops up. No, it has been around for ages. But most of us, we only focus on making money instead of like having fun. Yeah.
William, what do you think about how the power of IP, how to be a good IP, and how do you leverage it?
Because I think for IP, as I share with all of you, it is a really good marketing skill for a brand, a new brand, especially for a new brand like me as a watch brand to try to compete with very historic and very big brands in the world in the watch market. Because as you know that the three biggest watch groups, Richemont, Swatch, and LPM actually already has the biggest market shares in the industry. And this industry actually, as I share with you, is more like from the necessity, because watch is more like these days when we measure times, we read time, we will use the cell phone more than really reading on a wristwatch. So IP is a very good way to do the leverage marketing. Because maybe in a very traditional marketing method, we will hire a superstar or an ambassador to be our watch brand's ambassador to promote the watch, but to promote the product. But actually, when time passes, I can tell for customers, they all have their unique leads for their desire. And the leads actually is more and more approachable actually through the internet. And they can really find different supplier easily. They can find a designer easily, even through the AI. Actually, 2 years ago, I also started my new AI company too. So I can tell that actually it's really easy for them to approach different skill set to meet up their demand. So for a brand, actually how we can really fulfill their satisfaction is that we need to have a very unique product. The custom made, the MOQ have to be as few as possible. And then the supply chain has to be as big freedom to satisfy the customer as possible. So that's why I think IP is one of a very good way to approach different customers to let them have this kinds of the satisfaction that, this watch is really unique. Besides the IP, we also have the word engrave systems that I use my in-house factory that we will have the engrave that at the back of my watch. So that for each of the customers, when they want to have like a gift to their parents or to their lovers, to their friends, they can engrave any words inside the watch, which means that it's not really on the case or on the strap. It's inside the watch that is in the mechanical watch, the movement itself. So it means that its lever will have a chance to be damaged, and it is preserved eternally for the memory. So that's why I think for IP, it's more like to satisfy the customer's needs and also the whole retail industry's needs. Yeah.
For Henson, I think your business bet less on IP, right? And what about but do you think your product can help sell what William is selling to like luxury watches? Can use a chatbot to sell luxury watches? What do you think the future of your product and your business?
So just now we mentioned about so-called agentic commerce, right? So I think people are evaluating what will be the impact of so-called AI on both e-commerce and retail, especially luxury retail as well. In fact, we actually work with a lot of French brands, luxury brands as well, all across the world, from fashion to jewelry to watches as well. And I think there are different use cases for different types of retail as well. For a higher ticket size, luxury products, I think they're looking for AI to, first of all, to provide certain intelligence for the company as well. If they're interested in certain products, what kind of watches are they asking? What are the feedback that they have towards our product or services as well? How can we optimize? So AI can actually scrap a lot of intelligence and insights from tons of millions of conversations that every day the sales agent has, and then actually give insights. At the same time, I think right now people are very confident if AI are working with human instead of autonomously just with the AI. For example, if someone just wants to quote the price of a certain product, or if they just want to reserve a time to come to the store for a pickup, maybe we can actually have AI to qualify such leads, recommend certain products, and when their consumers show a great interest, then we pass it back to a human team, right? I think we're seeing that companies using that AI/human workflow, they're able to actually double their customers' kind of handle as well. So I think every single retail and e-commerce would adopt AI in different pace. If I'm selling a product which is easy to understand, but I have a high volume of inquiries, for example, I'm a beauty clinic or I have treatments that I want people to inquire and come for a free trial. In fact, these companies use AI every day to handle appointments. They can answer all very specific questions about skin, about which treatment is the best for their skin. So depends on the industry, but I think everyone now is moving towards different paces, but at the end towards using AI for their businesses as well.
Okay, just heard everyone to talk about a lot of their market or their product and the futures of their areas. And just step back a bit. Nowadays, I think we have a lot of students here, and they may want to fund their business after graduation. How to fund their first bucket of money to start their business? What do you think is nowadays better to fund a VC or to gather some money from family or something like that? What's the best way to fund their money to start their capital to fund their business nowadays? Which is because all of you, some have family made money, some have funding, and what do you think the good point or bad points of each method? Can feel free to share.
I think it's actually changing over time too. Instead of, in terms of fundraising, working with the VC. Going back to the IP, I think IP has been a really good tool, to communicate and build trust, with investors, because they care about the early entry barrier, right? And then IP definitely provide that. We Farmacy also have IP. But then, interestingly, in this industry, we have to focus on what exactly the industry that you are doing, and then what that IP means to you. Because, for example, we can have a technology that can help us to save a lot of water use, energy costs and everything. And we also have that IP, to get our machines ready for the new era of the biofertilizers, all that. But then there's a saying in the agriculture industry, it's like the IP and the active IP and inactive IP. Because we always have to remind ourselves about, actually, after all, human has been growing plants or practicing agriculture without technologies for 1,000 years. So even you have your IP, probably that kind of advantage will not last long. So it means, going back to your question, if we have a new business nowadays, I would say, especially over the past 24 months, investors and VC has been focusing on revenue. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like how robust your company is in terms of driving revenue, especially when the economy, the macroeconomy is not good enough and all that. So going back to the question is, how you are going to use your technologies, to bring in a new product that is widely accepted by the customers. And this actually remain the questions. So our team has been focusing on the revenue generation, since day one. Of course, you will have a lot of challenges, setback, but then you go back again. But that would be the best part that we have to convince the investors nowadays, and also your customers and your future talents, I would say.
I think it's really hard to have one advice, right, for everyone. If you come from a grassroots family, right, of course you just go to work, right, save some money. Right? I mean, you're a Hong Kong U student, right? Probably you can get a good tuition job, right, at any like families, right? So make some money first, right? If you don't, if you are not willing to put your own money into the business that you are building, why would all these investors put their money in? Right? I think that is the easiest way. Right? If you come from a more resourceful family, ask your parents, right? If you can't convince your mother and father to give money to you, how can you convince other people to give money to you, right? And then if you have a lot of rich friends, right, ask them to give money to you, right? Because pitching your friends is probably easier than pitching someone that you don't know. I think all this stuff, I think depends on what you have. I think one thing that I believe is for entrepreneur, I think you have to be relentlessly resourceful, right? Because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is about solving problems. Right? Oh, lack of resources, a lack of capital is part of the problems. If you can't solve it, maybe you should just go to work for someone else, right, to learn the skills, right? Because even if working at a company, you still have to learn how to solve problems, right? But I believe that all students at Hong Kong, you are pretty good at solving problems. Yeah. So I think that is something that we are being well taught at Hong Kong U. Yeah, go Hong Kong U. Yeah, and then but all in all, I believe that sometimes it depends on your product. Yeah, because if you are on the so-called like in Chinese like 风口, right? It's like it's the trend. It's very easy to raise funding. For example, if you are building some AI stuff, it's very easy to raise funding. If you're building like agricultural stuff, maybe it's harder, right? So I think there's no one playbook for every like different industry. Yeah.
I'm from Hong Kong U, and I know you. I'm going to pitch you after this session for sure.
Yeah, yeah, Hong Kong U and also Richie Hall. I think yeah, the best combination. Yeah.
Henson?
I can share a story. Actually, when I first started at SleekFlow, immediately after 1 month, our revenue back then was around 2,000 Hong Kong dollars a month. That's the first month of launch. And I met investors, and like every startups want to fundraise at the very start and try to see if they can go on this fundraising path, right? I met an investor and I pitched him, and the immediate response that he told me is that, oh, wow, Henson, you did really well in the first month of launch, but the revenue you generated is less than the helper in my house. So until you go past that line, come back to me, right? And then, of course, I was very angry because we spent time building that product, and the first month we got revenue, it's a huge proof. But I just told myself that I would just focus on what Raymond said, tractions and revenue. I would just do it myself. I would just generate revenue and cash flow myself. And interestingly, our first investor come because we did very well in terms of growth, in terms of tractions, and they would come by themselves. They would knock on the door. So prove the tractions yourself, just work hard on the product and optimize it, that's all. And I agree with what Ray said about market. So in fact, all the VCs that I talk about, what they value the most is actually not the tractions at the start. It's not even the team or the founder at the start. It's whether you're in the right markets. I think that's very important. So pick the right market, do your research. Knowing this market has a huge space, as long as you can get 1% of the market, maybe you can already become a unicorn. So pick the right market's importance here.
William?
Yeah, so I will have a final conclusion because I very agree with all the guest speakers, wonderful sharing. Because for doing an entrepreneurship in different timing and different environment, we have different policy, especially we have different products. But I think first of all, you have to be really enthusiastic about your product and your business models. And we definitely need to have a very strong R&D to know about this industry. For example, for me, when I start my own brand, actually when I study my master in Cornell, my economics master, I really do a very in-depth research about my in-house factory for more than 2 years. And also to find a hobby, to find an interest that not only beneficial to yourself, the individual, but also to the society is very important. Because when the society supports you, everyone supports you, the majority supports you, then the business model and the revenue will be very big. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And I think time is running out. Then maybe let me conclude a bit. But for funding a business, there are lots of topics we can still explore with them. But time is running out. Therefore, thank you, everyone, for sharing their very sincere experience in their business journey. And I want to prove that Hong Kong is still having quite a lot of entrepreneurs working hard and building very unique product. You see everyone has that unique product and market in their role. And also that we can find opportunities in AI, in IP, and also go Hong Kong, through Hong Kong as a platform, we can go global. Yeah, and therefore, thank you for everyone, and please give them some applause. Yeah, thank you for sharing, and also thank you Hong Kong U for giving me opportunities as EDigest to share with everyone. Thank you, everyone.